What's that kid from Georgia that he went from Georgia, now he's Miami
Stetson
now?
Bennett.
Yeah, Stetson Bennett. They're gonna be trash. They ain't gonna be no good. That kid is no good. That kid ain't no good. He's not good. I
Okay.
think, and he's living in the bag. I mean, this kid has already had a Lambo truck. He has like 8 million. He got $8 million. $8 million, dog.
Greetings and salutations, and welcome to the Odd Coaches Podcast preview of both Notre Dame and the Atlantic Coast Conference as we get you ready for the 2025 college football season. Now, let us remind you all that the Odd Coaches Podcast, entering its fourth year of covering college football, talks about things from the casual perspective as we look at things strictly for entertainment purposes only. We cover all major conferences, and we're going to take a deep dive into Notre Dame and the ACC with our esteemed panel, Captain for Life and Parlay King Will Cotton. Will, how are you, sir? Excited about the ACC?
You have to be. We're kind of in that. We're in that area, so I love it. Comes on at noon. Starts my day. Let's go, ACC.
All right, and our Texas correspondent for this show, he is also our favorite administrator, Robert Abney. Robert, welcome, and excited about Texas teams in the Atlantic Coast Conference, correct?
Other than the fact that what are Texas teams doing in anything having to do with Atlantic Coast? But you know what? Get off my lawn and let's talk.
All right, segment one, we're talking about the top tier teams and Notre Dame. Segment two, the bowl fodder teams, and in segment three, we'll make some predictions strictly for entertainment purposes only. But I'm started with Notre Dame. Marcus Freeman is my man. The BCA is real. He is one of the nation's top coaches. They had a nice run last year, even though they did lose to a directional school. They are favored to win a slew of games. They should sneak into the playoffs. Should we still be excited about Notre Dame, or will reality tap them on the shoulder?
No, we gotta be excited about Notre Dame. I love Marcus Freeman, man. We are peers. We're the same age. We turned 40 in the same year. Like we are kindred spirits. Like, I'm really rooting for the guy, man. Being somebody who's young as well, going into my own organization, just to have that kind of idea that you're the man. Think that you're going in, you're having all this success, especially after people telling you that you're not going to have this success, or, hey, maybe this is as a stopgap. It's great. I think he relates to the kids. I think he relates to the parents as well. I don't think he comes off as fake. I think he's very upfront and approachable. Come in my office. You can go in the door. I'm pretty sure he uses social media. I'm sure he's texting kids, so it's a lot more relatable in terms of how they communicate. I don't understand why he shouldn't have the same success. He can relate his players, man. And if you can really relate to your coach, and as well, like we did, coach. I mean, you're relating to your coach, and you're winning, and you're having fun, and working hard. That's the formula to success. And I expect him to be good again next year.
All right, Robert, and again, because Notre Dame's an independent, we're taking a deeper dive into them. Should we still be excited about Notre Dame, or slow down?
Well, yes. Are they going to be any better on offense? Because, I mean, that really was the challenge for them this past season, especially once they got in the playoff. I mean, they got some breaks. They played really good defense. But at some point in today's college football game, you got to be able to move the ball. You got to have big play capability. You got to be able to score. And, when they played, especially when they played Ohio State, they got exposed a little bit because they just didn't really have that capability.
All right, so now we're going to go to the ACC, and for the top three, we're all going to take one apiece just because of our allegiances or things strictly for entertainment purposes only. Clemson, you will hear me say I am not the biggest Dabo Swinney fan, but this year I need the entire nation to root for Clemson, because if a a non-Big Ten SEC team wins, it's great for everybody. So, Clemson, you've got your quarterback, you've got nearly all of your main contributors. I need you to make a run. I need you to make a run. I'm still not a fan, but this is bigger than just me not liking Dabo. This is for the soul of college football. We need somebody outside of the Big Ten SEC to win. Will, I want you to talk about Miami because Miami is on the top tier of the ACC as well. 10-3 record. Mario Cristobal is getting it going together. Any thoughts about Miami this year?
What's that kid? Stetton. What's that kid from Georgia that went from Georgia, now he's Miami.
Stetson
now.
Bennett?
Yeah, Stetson Bennett. They're gonna be some trash. They ain't gonna be no good. That kid is no good. That kid ain't no good. He's not good.
Okay.
I think, and he's living in the bag. I mean, this kid has already had a Lambo truck. He has like $8 million. He got $8 million. $8 million, dog. Like he's getting more than players who are in the NFL right now. You know what I'm saying? Like that's crazy to me. So they're not going to do well.
Okay, Robert, SMU. Since 1984, it seems they've been waiting for their opportunity to get back to the big time. They even paid the ACC to let them in. Can they do it again? Can they make the playoffs again? What do you think from our Texas correspondent?
Well, they're not going to sneak up on anybody. We know that. Last year, they did not play either Clemson or Miami during the regular season. This year, they play them both. They get Miami at home. They go to Clemson. And their non-conference schedule, they're playing Baylor at home, who won 8 games last year. And they go to TCU. So both short road trips, and, Power 4, Power 5, interconference games. But they could very easily lose both of those games because Baylor's pretty good. TCU, I mean, they did not have a great season last year, but they're in the Big 12. They can recruit. They got some money. So it's going to be that they're not going to sneak up on anybody. I'm sure that they're going to have athletes because they have money. They've got their quarterback back. That's going to help them. Having a quarterback is critical. I would not expect them to make the playoff again. I still think they're going to be pretty good. They'll win 8 or 9 games, but I don't think they're going to be in the playoff.
All right, I'm going to run through the rest of the top tier teams and then allow some reaction from our panel. Louisville has been sneaky good the last few years. They had 19-8 the last 2 years. They always seem to screw up when the national media is watching them. Georgia Tech, now that they got rid of all of that 3 yards in the cloud of dust stuff, they've had back-to-back winning records in the ACC. They should mess up something they're the first people that told us Florida State wasn't good. They're the first ones to do it. Duke, Manny Diaz, go get your thing, Manny. Duke is special to us because the Moore family, our Paint Branch folks, Jordan Moore he's an undrafted free agent for Cincinnati, but I don't know how long Duke's going to stay. Florida State went from the penthouse to the outhouse, and they can't be any worse. And Pitt started off fast, guys, and then fell apart. So, Will, any of the next of the top tier teams catch your interest for the ACC this year?
It's got to be Florida State. I mean, if you're looking at a team that can turn itself around, I mean, Florida State has the athletes. I still think they're a pretty good coach, and again, all they got to do is reset and get right back and realign, and they'll be right back in there in the hunt for the top ACC's championship. So I expect Florida State to be right there with them. I don't think they're going to have another bad year.
Okay. Robert, any second top tier team catch your interest this year to keep an eye on?
Since when does anybody talk about Duke football?
They were teasing it. And again, God bless Jordan. Jordan's a good kid.
They won 9 games last year. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to do that again because they have to go to Clemson. I mean, among other, ACC road trips. But there's no reason they can't. I mean, can they do it? Can they match that season? Can they go 9-4 again? Absolutely.
All right, we'll take it. All right, so fans, in segment 2, we will talk about the next tier teams, starting with that guy in North Carolina who is going to be interesting. We'll be right back on the iCoaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. Dr. Keith Adams here, and for over 30 years, I've dedicated my life to helping student athletes succeed, not just on the fields and the courts, but in the classroom and beyond. And that's why I founded the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project understands that finding the balance between academics and athletics is crucial for long-term success. That's why the CKA Save Project offers a range of programs, including personalized consulting, mentorship, and coming in 2027, our innovative Gap Year Basketball Academy designed to assist both young men and women reach their full potential both on and off the court. I'm incredibly excited to announce that the CKA Save Project is now partnering with the Cascade Sports Network. This partnership will allow us the opportunity to amplify our message and reach even more student athletes through the Odd Coaches Podcast and other exciting initiatives. Join the CKA Save Project and the Cascade Sports Network as we empower the next generation of student athletes. Visit CKA on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org to learn more. Let's work together to find the balance and help unlock your potential. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 2. These are the second tier teams of the ACC. So now we're on the projected 9th best team. By the way, there's a lot of teams in the ACC. Shouldn't be this many. So North Carolina. I am so interested in Bill Belichick's first year at North Carolina. He's 73. He's reshaped the roster. He's brought in over 40 transfers. He has a favorable schedule, but good luck to him. NC State makes me mad because they always underperform, and they're probably going to underperform again. What happened to Virginia Tech when Will was in school and everybody was still hanging on the Michael Vick hangover? Man, those hokey jerseys were all over the place, and now they're not very good. Boston College has Bill O'Brien coming back. Had a solid 7-6 season, but you're playing people this year. Syracuse, shout out to Brendan Strawn, Hood College alum. First-year coach last year, Fran Brown, did a lot to, get some energy into program, so good luck to them. Virginia, I hope Tony Elliott wins because he hasn't won a lot. California, why are we in the ACC? I'm just going to say that and keep moving. Wake Forest, good luck. And Stanford, come on, Andrew Luck. What are we doing? So, Will, out of these second-tier teams, is there anybody you're going to follow, catch your eye? Anybody make you pause? What are you thinking?
Probably North Carolina, just because of the name of Bill Belichick. That's every other team is not really would make me, I wouldn't break a date for anything. Just to see North Carolina, see what kind of athlete they brought in, what kind of system they're running. Will his girlfriend be on the sideline? Will she be in a suite? Will she be in the skybox? Will she have a headset in? Who see what's going on? And I guess we'll take out with Syracuse, man. Syracuse is always good. I want Fran Brown to really get that, be a real staple in the ACC, man. Be a team that people can fear, and then hopefully next year we're talking about him in the first year. So, that's about it, really. Everyone else is,
All right. Robert, is there any of these second-tier ACC teams that, hey, keep an eye on, or you could totally bypass?
I think it would be an interesting project. And the data is going to be skewed because neither one of them are very good to begin with. But I think it's going to be an interesting project to see how Cal and Stanford do when they have to go east for a noon kickoff on a Saturday. How do they do in those games? And what do they do if they have back-to-back games on the East Coast, do they go out there, fly home, go back, or do they just go somewhere and, do they rent space at Morehouse College for a week and practice and live that? All of that that's the only interesting thing about this. And it's interesting in the sense of, what are we doing more than anything else? Because, and we joke about this all the time. This really doesn't have a whole lot to do with college athletics. We're not talking about student athletes anymore. Not like this.
No. The one team in this next tier that I am going to watch is Stanford. Andrew Luck is the GM. He's got, I think Frank Reich is coaching this year, just 1 year. But this whole experiment, it's hard enough to get into Stanford anyway. Stanford doesn't allow you to cut a lot of corners. And you're playing in the Atlantic Coast Conference, who is holding on, as the LTD song, to relevance and prominence. So, yeah, that's going to be interesting. So with that, in segment 3, we're going to tell you who we think should be bowl eligible and who might make this playoff. We'll see. We'll be right back on the Odd Coaches Podcast. Hi, everyone. I'm Dr. Keith Adams, and for years, I've witnessed the struggle student athletes face on how to truly balance the demands of academics and athletics. It's a question that I have dedicated my life to answering. That's why I wrote Finding the Balance, my personal journey to academic and athletic success. It's more than just a book. It is my personal journey, and it is filled with hard-earned lessons from decades as a coach, educator, and now president of the CKA Safe Project. Inside, you will find practical advice, real-life stories, and a clear roadmap to help student athletes, coaches, and parents navigate the complex world of balancing sports and education. And now I am thrilled to bring this message to a wider audience as a proud member of the Cascade Sports Network. We're partnering to amplify these crucial conversations about student-athlete success. I believe every student-athlete deserves the opportunity to reach their full potential, both on and off the court and the field. You can purchase your copy directly from our website at www.ckasafeproject.org. Join me and the Cascade Sports Network as we work together to help every student athlete succeed. Welcome back to the Odd Coaches Podcast in segment 3. Here's some of the teams. Here are the teams from the ACC we think will be bowl eligible. We think Boston College, Cal, Syracuse, Duke, NC State, Pitt, Virginia Tech, Florida State, Georgia Tech, UNC, Louisville, SMU, Clemson, and Miami, bowl eligible teams. Will, out of those teams, any of you think, nah, coach, they're not going to be bowl eligible, or did I miss somebody? What did you think?
I'm with Robert from the first segment. I don't think Duke is going to get to a bowl game. I don't think they're going to do it. I mean, I just don't think they're going to do it. I don't think they're that good. And I'm going with also why not with Virginia Tech as well. They will not be making into a bowl unless it's one full of cereal.
Okay, Robert, did we get it right with bowl eligible teams, or what do you think?
I don't know about Cal. I mean, and here's
got to get to 6. Cal's got to get to 6.
You would think. Here's what will be interesting again, though. So let's say all of these teams get to bowl eligibility, and I think we're going to see more of this. We saw it last year with Marshall. How many teams are going to struggle to play bowl games because their roster is decimated because of the portal? Or is it going to be, now that we have at least tentatively have this house settlement where there's a pot of money that gets paid out, do we have less of a portal?
I do know that some of the deals end at the conclusion of the season. So to get all of your money, I know that that's something to be talked about, but I'm going to put a pin in that and bring that up at our
that'll be
preseason
interesting.
meeting.
And you say the conclusion of the season. Well, what's the conclusion of the season?
To my knowledge, based on a story we did earlier, it would be the last play date, the day after the last play date of the team. So that would be the bowl. Okay. And I think we did a little something on that earlier, but yeah, we're going to have that on the kickoff season. Thank you, sir.
Well, and even then, are guys going to sit out that bowl game because they know they're transferring and they don't?
And they got enough money.
They don't want to jeopardize that. Who knows?
Interesting. All right. So in terms of the college football playoff, Notre Dame should be in the mix. Clemson should be in the mix. I'm going to ask, starting with Robert, should we include SMU and Miami in the mix, or what do you think will be a college football playoff team from the ACC?
I'm going with no. I think Miami, until they show us a la Penn State, until you show me something, I'm going with no, that they're not going to be able to take advantage of that opportunity. I think Clemson and Notre Dame, I think that's who comes out.
Well, we got the 5+11 model that I'm rooting for. You got to think that there's going to be Notre Dame and 2 ACC reps, correct?
I mean, I don't know. Again, I think it depends on Florida State. Traditionally a good team that's always in the mix, always one of those 13-1, 12-1 teams that are right there. I think Notre Dame's going to be right there up with them. So I think if all those teams, if we're looking at, because I don't really think Miami's going to replicate what they had last year. I don't think SMU could, but they put a lot of money into that team. That could be another scary good team. I think they'll be in there. But I don't think they're going to beat the tier of teams that's going to get them where they need to go. So I think it's going to be Notre Dame, and that's it.
All right. So, Robert, in terms of national champion possibility, I got Notre Dame and Clemson as the chance to win it all. Agree, disagree? And again, we're just talking about in the mix to win it all. What do you think, sir?
Well, if your bar is you're in the playoff, then I would agree with that.
You got to get in to get the national champion.
To have a chance. If that's the bar, then
that's the bar.
There's a chance.
Will, Notre Dame, Clemson. I'm predicting they're going to make the playoff, but can they win the championship?
It'll be tough. It'll be tough. I think it'll be tough. They had a great chance to last year, and it didn't work. So no, but I think they'll have 2, and they could even have 3 CFP teams, but I don't think it's hoisting any up this year. No one makes.
All right, so fans, we have covered the Atlantic Coast Conference as well as Notre Dame. Shout out to our Notre Dame correspondent, Jake Schawler. So on behalf of our Cavalcade of Stars, I'm Dr. Keith Adams saying thank you for listening and or watching the Odd Coaches podcast, also seen on the Cascade Sports Network, and we will see you on the sidelines. Until next time, take care.
The Odd Coaches podcast is sponsored by the CKA Save Project. The CKA Save Project is an industry leader in providing student-athlete academic and athletic support. From assessing student-athletes' academic and athletic skills, to measuring and monitoring student-athlete academic progress, to improving student-athlete time management and organizational skills, the CKA Save Project provides wraparound services for student-athletes from middle school through college. For more information, visit us on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org or schedule a free consultation with Dr. Keith Adams by emailing cka@ckasaveproject.org. We hope you enjoyed today's show. The Odd Coaches podcast drops new episodes every Tuesday through Friday on most weeks. Make sure you subscribe to the Odd Coaches podcast on Apple Music, iHeartRadio, Podbean, Spotify, and YouTube. Follow the Odd Coaches podcast on Twitter and Instagram at Odd Coaches. Follow Dr. Adams on Twitter and Instagram at CKA Save Project.
In addition, follow Coach Mike Francis on Twitter and Instagram at Coach Franchise, spelled Coach Franchize. For more information about the CKA Save Project, please visit them on the web at www.ckasaveproject.org. See you next time on the Odd Coaches Podcast.